I realise that one of the things that puts people off going to see an opera for the first time is the fear that they won't understand the language. A really important thing to remember when you're coming to see an opera in a foreign language is that we always have the English translation in what we call surtitles above the stage. Essentially, it's just like watching an art house film or a foreign film where as the actors are speaking in the foreign language, you have the translation going along the bottom of the screen. Well, we have exactly the same thing, except it's above the stage, hence surtitles. In fact, with WNO, in the Welsh venues, we actually have above the stage the translation in English and in Welsh as well. Being a surtitle operator is such an important job, and you have to be quite skilled because you have to be familiar not only with the language, but also with the musical score. I'm going to speak to Stevie Wood, who will be operating our surtitles here in Oxford. And I think it'll be fascinating to get a bit of an inside scoop on how it all works.
This is the lighting box. There'll always be one or two different people in here operating all the lights from this system. I have absolutely no idea what they do, but
it looks very complicated, doesn't it?
Pretty impressive. I think stage managers.
You can see that's the stage just beyond.
We'll give them instructions to do things at certain points, and then they operate the lights from here.
Yep.
And also they have the music up quite loud in here, so they can hear what's going on, and they've got a good view of the stage.
So they have the tannoy system plays loudly in here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll have their cans on, so they can hear what the stage manager is going to say.
So, from the relative glamour of the lighting box, we have this.
Yeah.
This is quite a tragic wee room, Stevie.
Yeah, every place is different. But in Oxford, yes, there's this kind of place. I was going to say hall. That's a bit harsh. Where they've got a lot of things in storage. They've got a cool little chaise longue, which actually there's usually some stuff on it, but later I'll be able to have a little relaxing moment there.
Surely you don't have time for a kip.
But maybe in the interval, just to rest my bones and recharge the batteries in between acts,
Oh, good.
Very stressful job. But yes, I'm positioned here. On this little chair.
And let me just look over your shoulder. So this is the stage. You've got a little window.
Yep.
With it's glassed in.
Yeah,
but presumably the relay comes through.
Yeah, so this, the thing is the relay machine. So if I need it to be louder on the tannoys, I can turn it up here. And actually this also controls what they hear next door. Okay. And in the viewing gallery. So this is quite important. And I hear it all through here. Mm-hmm. And so I've got a good view. I usually have that like that, so I can also see the surtitle screen. Because it's actually very important that I can see the surtitle screen at all times. The first protocol is Simon Rees. He usually does a translation.
Okay.
And he works out how it would be structured, how it would be spaced.
Yeah.
Because obviously.
So these are the markings here. Just zoom in as much as I can.
So say that's the first line, and then there'll be some text for here, which I'll show you in a minute when I've got this up and running. Mm-hmm. And then when there's no text, there'll be a blank. But obviously he also works out.
Does the number signify a blank?
No, it just literally means the next line. So 7, that one's 7, next one's 12. The reason that they don't do 7, then 8, then 9 and 10 is so that if they need to insert or add another line, they've got the space to do it, and they don't have to then rejig the whole thing.
Interesting. God, that makes sense.
It's important for certain shows not to translate exactly everything, especially shows that are pretty wordy, like for instance La Boheme or Così.
Yeah.
Because if you translate everything, and there's a surtitle for everything, then the audience will just spend their whole night staring at the surtitles and not really be able to look at the stage. So so for shows like Boheme, it's really the spirit and the essence that are translated.
So the surtitle operator, the surtitle translator, will look at that and basically just give them enough information so that they have the gist.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that they can keep up with the story but not spend their whole time staring above the proscenium arch.
Definitely. And say in some of the ensembles, like in Act 2, when, you know, really what you want to listen to is, say, Mimi and Rodolfo talking about how he's being jealous.
Yeah.
And in the background, you got Clina and Shona talking about like chicken and fish or whatever. Like, you know, obviously the Mimi and Rodolfo's bit is translated.
So in ensembles, they couldn't possibly see...
No, otherwise it's just a big mess.
Exactly. So what happens if the computer goes down? Has that ever happened to you?
It has happened. It's happened to just about every single fellow surtitler that I know.
Really? But not you so far?
That has happened to me, actually. I've had to reboot the computer before. You just have to be really, really zen about it, because...
And not panic.
There'll be a certain amount of time, maybe 5 minutes, when there are no titles, but you just have to get it sorted.
Yeah.
So you just, and, you know, at the end of the day, if it is a computer error, it's not your fault. So you just have to reboot the computer, reboot the program, and then get back into the titles.
Great. What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you surtitling? Have you got any other stories?
For me, usually the scary thing is when just the connection from the Wi-Fi is a bit on the slow side. So here
it's all operated by Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so this is connected via, I think, this thing here, this Netgear fast Ethernet switch.
Okay.
To that screen. So if it's a bit slow...
And the screen is just above the proscenium arch.
Yeah. That blank.
It's
It'll be more obvious when
because
I've got some titles up. Let me just get the Bohème one. But yeah, if that slowed that connection, then each time you press the button, it adds an extra kind of like 2 seconds, say, or 1 or 2 seconds, to when it actually comes up on the screen. And so when you've got you know, quite fast, you know, moving text, you know, it's really stressful because you don't want to double press, because then it'll just go really fast. You just have to be, you know, again, just be zen and so just let it happen. Yeah.
It must be really difficult when you're doing something that has recitative.
It is
because
really
of
difficult.
pacing.
Absolutely. And recit needs a lot of concentration. A lot of concentration, because if you miss a line, then you need to skip a line, and everybody notices it, because you just get like a line comes up for a split second.
And the thing is, with Handel and Mozart, that's where all the action, the storytelling is in the recitative.
Exactly.
So that's all the information.
Absolutely. And especially with Jetfa, where it's in English, because people can hear what they're saying, but they just use the surtitles as an aid.
As backup.
If you're sloppy with the surtitles in English, it's even more noticeable.
Now, something that I think must be quite difficult as a surtitle operator is how to deal with the pacing of jokes, because from a singer's point of view, I have experienced being on stage, and the audience obviously get the punchline in the surtitles ahead of you actually getting to it, which can be quite disconcerting from a singer's point of view.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you have any sort of techniques for that, or is it just a matter of having to really know the production and the singers and get familiar with their pacing?
Absolutely. So obviously it helps the more you do a show, and you know exactly when they're going to say the joke. But there are certain things you can do even if you don't really know the show. You just got to listen. Yeah. And what you know as a surtitler is that from when you press the button, you know, there is a split second anyway where it comes up. So you have to time that anyway. So it's all in the timing. So instead of, say, pressing the button at the beginning of the line, where actually people read really quickly, and so that's how they'll laugh before you get to the punchline.
Oh, so it's not that it's
you've got to make sure that actually, especially with punchlines, is not to introduce the line from when they start singing, but actually maybe halfway through, and you'll find that when they get to the punchline, they've sort of read it fast and do it in time.
And caught up.
So it's just a matter of it's just timing, really.
There's a real art to it, though, because at the end of the day, it's still live performance. Even if you've seen the show a million times, you know, on any night it could be different.
And actually, another art to the surtitling experience is to try and do it rhythmically as well, because it is more effective if you know, it also goes with the natural rhythm of the piece.
Yeah.
So it's good to know the score, know the orchestration. You could sort of, you know, take lines off on like, you know, ba-dum, boom, or something.
Yeah.
Or, and just, you know, it's just nice. It's, I'd say, you know, classy.
Yeah. That's how you can tell a classy surtitler, is it?
Yeah, for sure.